Hi guys, I'm Diane, and today I'm reviewing the Jane Austen Project by Kathleen A. Flynn. This book comes out on May 2nd, so put it in your calendar. The Jane Austen Project is a science fiction novel about time travel. As the title tells us, it highly focuses on Jane Austen. Our two protagonists, Rachel and Liam, travel back in time to save the Watsons, which is a book by Jane Austen which has been lost. And although they have been trained by their agency really thoroughly, they still have to find their way in 1815, and all the while they're trying to get really close to Jane and get to letters and get to the manuscript of the Watsons. We follow the story through Rachel's point of view, and there is this really sweet mix of contemporary language and language which was used in that times, but it isn't too heavy and it mixes really fluently. In terms of world building, the story does its job very well. It doesn't describe things too long-windedly, but it really gives us a clear view of what life was like in 1815 and what houses looked like and stuff like that. The characters in the novel are quite some in number, and for me personally, the Austen's family tree as an appendix wouldn't have been a bad plan, because while all characters are introduced and displayed very clearly, I kind of lost track of who was what to whom. Is it your cousin or your brother? I don't know. The other characters that are introduced are mostly neighbors, housekeepers, and other servants, so they get a role, but they are smaller. The relationships between the characters is really the thing that is fleshed out the most, and I really like this because I like character-driven novels. While characters and feelings and relationships between them are always interesting and always important, I guess, they take on a whole life of their own. Because of the time travel aspect, it gets so important to behave like you're expected to behave and blend in and build the relationships you want to build. Rachel's and Liam's mission depends heavily on them being liked and trusted by the entire Austen family, but because they are from our modern times, they have to work super hard to find out what is decent behavior in that time, and sometimes they do slip up, and this was just a thing that was so realistic to me, because you can be on your toes the entire time you're there, and that's also the thing about this book. It just displays things really realistically, so halfway through the book they will still notice something about a building or a room which is different from their own time, and it's just really realistic because you're used to another world for your entire life, so you aren't going to get used to that in 2 months. The core of the novel is really balancing fitting in and carrying out their mission, working so closely together as colleagues, which Liam and Rachel haven't done before as well, and managing all kinds of relationships that are customary for their sex in that time. And all the while you wonder if they will succeed and if they will make it back, and if they make it back, then how, and what kind of world will they return to, because what will they have changed in the past that influences the future. Very interesting facets to me were there are a lot of feminist ideas, and the inequalities between the sexes are well worked out through the story and are talked about from time to time. It's not a heavy thing, so if you're anti-feminist, don't run away. But it's just really cool to work that in there. What's also talked about is different sexual orientations, and this isn't a main plot point, but it's just there, and it's fine. The book speaks in positive ways about homosexuality, bisexuality, and asexuality. Friends with benefits, the most traditional kinds of relations, and their good and bad points, and it isn't super explicit, and it isn't the main plot point, but it's really cool that it's just there, because that is what real life is like. I thoroughly enjoyed this novel, and it's really cool because I'm really planning to read all of Jane Austen's works this year, so this was a really cool introduction into, the mood and time period that those novels are set in. If you are interested in Victorian times, Jane Austen, feminism, and time travel, I absolutely recommend you pick this up. This book is really a light read, but with a lot of serious topics packed in there, and that is what made it so brilliant to me. You're reading a fun story while actually You are getting pointers to really serious subjects, and I thought that just made it an amazing novel. I gave the Jane Austen project 4 out of 5 stars, and I sincerely hope you pick it up. It's coming out May 2nd. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!